Okay. Perfecto. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Le Pre-Show. We have the lovely Johanna Cueva with us. And I actually forgot to put the timeline. Hold on. Where's the countdown? The countdown.
Oh.
Where is the countdown? Scene. I gotta put the countdown. Okay. We're gonna add. Yeah. Okay. Wunderbar. There we go. Countdown. Boop. I gotta change the color. We gotta do pink or purple, right? It's very important. What's today's date?
Yellow's nice.
The 14th.
August 14th.
You like yellow? You about yellow?
I love yellow.
Oh.
It's a happy color.
That's true. This is true. I do, there's a little exercise that I do with my babies, talking about mood and in a song. Essentially, to not the training essentially is to not use the song for its numbers, but to actually be able to taste, for lack of better words, or see the song for what it is, and the basic colors is what I use to point people in the right direction. So I'll play a random song and I'll go, okay, so the three primary colors are red, blue, and yellow. And essentially the primary colors meaning that you can't make those colors. Those colors exist on their own. Every other color in the spectrum you can create by mixing those colors together. So so essentially they're opposites of one another, right? So I tell the student, I go, okay, tell me, I put on a random song, tell me, how does this song feel to you? Does it feel red, blue, or yellow? And sure enough, with 100% accuracy, not that there's a wrong answer, but they're able to tell me if the song feels more red, more blue, or more yellow. And I say, hey, you're absolutely correct. And the reason why you're absolutely correct is because there is no wrong answer. It's whatever it feels to you. But if you chose the song yellow, then don't dance it like if it was a blue song. And they're like,
Oh, I like that.
So essentially if those three colors are opposite of one another, if they're on the opposite sides of the color spectrum, then we should be able to feel the music or see the music the way that we would taste food, the way that we would see colors, the way that we would feel textures, and in that same way. So just giving them an analogy like that, I found truly to be a way, especially for like ladies and lady styling solos. When you're doing stuff like that, like you're more almost even expected to feel the music because you're on stage by yourself. Like with social dancing, at least you can kind of lean on each other, which is nice. But at the same time, 116 Johanna. But at the same time, when you're by yourself, when you're solo, you being able to connect to the music more is almost needed, if you would. So when you said, sorry, it's a big long story, you saying that yellow was a happy color. Yellow is a happy color. I couldn't agree more. For that reason, it's that yellow. Okay, well, normally happier songs, slower, happier songs. Maybe you do like a timba is more like a deep red, and then bachatas are more in the blues. The cooler, the cooler colors, if you would, if that makes sense. We are live with Johanna Cueva for episode 116. Confidently here. Join us with the link. Sending now. Boom. Okay. Sending out the text message. Let me text you that YouTube link so you can go ahead and send that out as well. Do you see the countdown on your side?
I do.
Okay, cool. What's going on for those of you that are watching the pre-show? Joanna and I are hanging out before our 8 p.m. interview. If you have any questions for La Reina, by all means, go ahead and drop it in the comments now because you have special time right now with her. So go ahead and make that happen. We definitely have a lot to talk about, exciting stuff. And so feel free to go ahead and drop it. We're watching the comments now as we speak, which is great. Okay, so I need to know why you're wearing a Los Angeles hat.
Why? Okay,
Yes.
well, I just recently cut my bangs and I am outside and I am sweating bullets. So I got my hair nice and done, really cute. And then when I sat over here, it went poof. So I put this hat on because I need to tame the mess that I have
Gotcha.
underneath. And also my brother was like, it's going to look good if you wear that. I said, okay, cool. I have a younger brother. He's like, you're going to look hip. I was like, okay, cool. I'll wear it.
No. It looks good. I was more asking, is there any connection to specifically Los Angeles that you have? No?
Not one bit.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Just
At
asking.
all.
Just asking. Because there's some. I know that there's some West Coast. There's some West Coast hardcore. There's some New York hardcore. Yankees, that type of deal. Obviously, Los Angeles.
Yeah.
The Dodgers. The Marlins beat the Yankees. Was it last night? That was good. They caught up on a
Really?
the ninth inning. They were down like 7-2. They came back 8-7, which is wonderful, outrageous. Yeah, see, somebody watched the game. Just give us a thumbs up. Love you, appreciate you. Good stuff. Okay, so how was the ending of your tour? I know that we started off. I know that was a little bit ago already, but how did that end up wrapping up for you?
It was amazing. I think I went into the tour, like I haven't had the chance to dance in such a long time or teach. So I went into it, okay, I'm relearning again, I'm teaching again, learning how to be a better instructor, feeling the mood again, being in front of a classroom, like all of that, it takes a lot, right? To even though your body kind of just flows when you're in it. Like for me, when I dance, it's just like bam. It's my natural state. But I think it taught me a lot. It taught me a lot on how to be more patient with how I teach. It taught me a lot how to be more observant when it comes down to the students and to the girls that were taking the class. But it ended up amazing. I mean, I had a full packed class at Randy Santos' dance studio. We had a great time. He bought champagne. We had champagne. We laughed. It was amazing.
Nice.
It was amazing. So it was, and then I started teaching my privates from there. People that were interested in getting to know more of the basics of salsa, and then learning how to be more feminine and style more with their dancing. They reached out to me, and so I've been doing privates since then. But I'm really glad that I went for it. I was like, should I do this tour? Should I not? What is this? People are going to be like, what the hell is that? Like, who are you? And then I'm just like, yeah, like just see where it takes me. And honestly, I'm glad I did.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. That's the idea. That's definitely the idea. Just constantly putting ourselves out there, if you would, with intention, right? And I think that was awesome. That from the beginning, when you reached out, that you kind of knew what your goal was. I think that's a lot. I think that's missing nowadays. And actually, I think that goes really well with what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
And having intention with your goal setting, so that you know, what you're going for, so that you know what is considered a success at the end of it, which is important. And I'm assuming that was the case for you. You wanted to just get yourself out there. Obviously, when that happens, by default, there's always cream at the end of the day with extra private lessons and the whole deal, which is wonderful. So I'm super happy for you. That's amazing. I'm glad we were able to help. That's what we want to do all the time. Obviously, especially someone as talented as you. You know, and we the world needs more of you. That's the
Oh,
truth for sure. For sure. So that's awesome.
thank you.
Okay, so do you plan on doing more of this? Like, I mean, I will talk about this, I guess, at the end of the episode. But do you have more? Are you trying to do more steady in studio stuff? Are you trying to be the star in the sense of like floating workshops? Are you trying to do performances? Are you trying to do all of the above? Are you trying to do teams? Are you trying to
Yeah.
be an event organizer? I mean, like, there's so many. You want to be a DJ? Like, there's so many. There's a lot. There's just so many different. I guess you could say avenues, right? You know,
Yeah.
what is the next goal? I guess now that you've accomplished this, check, you 100% knocked out of the ballpark. I
Yeah.
guess you could say, what now?
Well, I do have a workshop coming up on August 30th with in the same studio at Randy Santos' studio.
Okay,
So I'm excited about that. But I am gonna get back into getting a girls team ready to go to perform. And I've had this idea for a long time of creating a program. So I won't say too much about it because I'm still working the logistics behind it.
sure.
But I am really passionate about mental health. So I've been thinking, how can I incorporate dancing salsa, which I absolutely love, right? I feel like I found myself through salsa. How do I incorporate that and do, talk about mental health and how important it is to to take care of your mind and what you do. And I know we're going to talk a little bit about that today. But anyways, the program that I'm creating is it's mixing up salsa, mental health, and wellness all together, specifically for women that are looking to, do something out of the norm. Because the gym is not for everybody, working out is not for everybody.
Right.
So I'm in the works of that, of creating a program that will be able to launch in the near future online and in person for women that just want to feel good for themselves and just try something different. So,
Absolutely. No, that's wonderful. That's amazing. We are doing the same thing, 100%, and kind of just keeping the wellness at top of mind. You know,
yeah,
Jeanette is all about that 100%. I mean, as you know, um, same thing with ladies teams and the whole deal, which is amazing. So if there's any way that we can help, there's any way that we can collaborate, obviously that door has always been open to you. You know that. So that's
thank you.
that's that's awesome. That's really really good stuff. I mean, you're gonna kick ass at it if you're confident at it. If you're passionate about it, by default, obviously it's not gonna be easy. Regardless, if you love it, it's not gonna be easy. Um,
Right.
I mean, I've been doing this now for over 15 years now. Started the podcast 3 years ago, 4 years ago, before COVID.
Wow, it's been 4 years already.
Yeah, yeah, that's
That's
it's wild.
crazy.
It's insane. It's insane. Y eso que paré. Go figure. You know, even with I'm consistent and da 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 da. And even then, I think I ended up taking a year off. So we would be Salsa Kings would be 52 episodes further than where we're at right now.
Mm,
So but we roll with the punches and we keep going and marcha atrás ni para coger impulso. That's so my
yeah,
granddad used to say. So for sure.
I
But
love
that's
that.
what's up. That's amazing. And I know that you are. How is the baby? How is that affecting you? I'm sure we'll talk about that in the episode as well. But congratulations, we're here on the air. Might as well.
Thank
how,
you.
how is how
Oh
is
my
that? Is that
God.
is that is that just totally hard? Like, I'm taking notes right now. Hold on. Let me get my.
I wouldn't say that it's totally hard. It's challenging. Like there is moments that it is, it is hard because you you're tired and you have your needs and you have your wants and like there's so many new things that you're facing. But I mean, at the end of the day, just seeing this little creature that you've created that gives you so much love and light, and not just for me, like my family, like seeing the people that she comes across, and like she's brought so much light into my life, into everybody's life. And it's just one thing that everyone told me was it's gonna be a love that you always wish you had, and you like it's not gonna be comparable to anything. And I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's taken me some time to like come to terms with that. Like now that it's, I mean, she's 6 months now. It really is. It's the love that I have for her is just, it's, I don't have enough words. I don't have enough time to explain to you how much I love this little creature that I've created. Baby, Gina. Sorry, I have my dog over here hyping me up.
Nice. I love it. Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. Congratulations. That's amazing. Does she? I guess you could. Okay, I don't want to say this. How do I say this? Does she? Does she make? Does what's her name? What's your daughter's name?
Emmy Rose.
Emmy Rose.
And
Does Emmy Rose bring you to dance more, or does she? Or is the dancing more for you and as a kind of a way to relax your mind so that you can be more present with her?
mm, I would say a little bit of both.
Okay.
Be Yeah, a little bit of both because even though it's not me dancing salsa, right? Because I'm here obsessed with Miss Rachel now because it's playing little kid songs all day. I'm dancing and acting a fool, and it's like for me, even dancing like a silly person, entertaining her gives me that release.
Nice.
It doesn't always have to be a technique structured salsa dancing. I have to be on. No, it's just dancing with her, whether it's merengue or hip hop, biggie, whatever it is. I'm just like, just
Nice.
being silly with her. So I would say it's a little bit of both.
Nice. Very cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. No, I can't wait. No, that's really really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So we're actually right on time. So let me go ahead and let me hide you just for a second as I give you the grand
Okay.
the grand entrance here, and we'll get rocking and rolling. All right. So give me 1 second here. Hold on. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Salsa Kings Live, episode 116. Thank you all so much for you loyal listeners. We appreciate you so much. We have the talented Johanna Cueva with us today, talking about her topic of choice, confidently her. We're going to get into some juicy stuff today, guys, so stick around. First, some words from our sponsors. First, the Miami Salsa Cruise. Guys, your favorite Latin dance getaway is right around the corner again. I cannot believe that it's been so fast, but we are ready to rock and roll. We are taking off from Miami in the new Carnival celebration, 8 days, 7 nights, January 21st through the 28th of 2024. We're going to Cozumel, we're going to Mahogany Bay, and we're going to Costa Maya. It's going to be an absolute blast. Live salsa music every single night. Shows, the whole deal. You already know we get litty over there, which is going to be absolutely amazing. So join us. Visit MiamiSalsaCruise.com. Go ahead and hop on our text list for discounts, the whole deal. You already know if you are a Salsa Kings member, your event ticket is waived. That's right. You only need to pay for your cabin and you're all set. Otherwise, go ahead, like I said, hop on our text list for discounts and we'll go ahead and get you on board. We're going to have an absolute blast. Miss Johanna Cueva has been dancing for over 25 years. She's classically trained, and as you know, if you've heard of our previous episodes as well, straw, sticks, and bricks, you already know that those with classically trained backgrounds have a ridiculous advantage when it comes to this social dancing performing deal, as the foundation is just radically stronger. Jazz, hip hop, lyrical, a wide range, teaching salsa for almost a decade now. Has the pleasure of performing alongside huge names: Oscar de Leon, El Gran Combo, Charlie Oponte, Frankie Negron, Jose Alberto de Canario. Love that man. He's absolutely amazing. And of course, from Miami, Tony Zucker as well. She also choreographed in the movie Father of the Bride alongside Gloria Estefan. And if you haven't seen the movie, go ahead and watch it. Absolutely amazing, especially for all of you Latin American immigrants as well. It's definitely really relatable and awesome movie as well. And arguably the most important and most noteworthy of all of her accomplishments. She is a brand new mother to a beautiful baby girl. Without further ado, we're going to go ahead and bring on Johanna Cueva. What's going on? How you doing, girl? You are
Hello, hello.
outside
I'm
in the
excited to be here.
unbelievably hot Miami. Not it's not even sun. It's not even sun, and we're still melting out here. It's insane. This is ridiculous. So you came out here for because you're able to get some alone time for the interview. Greatly
Yes,
appreciated. Like you have no idea,
yes,
for
yes,
sure.
yes. I will be sweating profusely in the honor of this interview.
This is real dedication here, guys. Again, for those of you that are hopping on now, if you have any questions for Johanna, by all means, this is 100% interactive. The idea is that you guys are here with us, so go ahead and drop some love in the comments and let us know what you guys think about everything that we're talking about. We're gonna get into some juicy stuff today, especially for you women's. But for those you for you men that are listening, take some notes. Get your pen and your paper out. Get your notes, your iPhone, whatever you do, your Android tablets, whatever you do, because this is really really good stuff. As we get into, we get a little vulnerable here in talking about being ourselves. But before we get into that, as we always do, we got to get to know you, Johanna. Tell us a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about your background. How did you end up with hoop earrings and lipstick and Los Angeles Dodgers there on your head there outside in the Miami weather, because you could be anywhere in the world, right? So how you end up in Miami, how you end up dancing salsa, the whole deal. I'm gonna go ahead and give you the floor.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you for having me. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm not drinking tequila. I'm not drinking liquor, unfortunately, because I'm still breastfeeding. But I have my water. I'm hydrated, so I'm excited to be here. I have been dancing since I was 5 years old. I was born in Peru, and I came when I was six. And salsa has always been part of my life. Like I was thinking like, how do I love salsa so much? Like, where did this come from? And I started thinking back on memories when I was younger, and I realized that my mom in Peru would listen. She would wake up really early and clean the house listening to La Charanga Banera. Like all
Yeah.
we would listen to was Cuban music, Cuban salsa, and I grew up listening to that. So it's always been in my blood. And since then, I've always danced. I danced in school. I trained in studios after that, and I was in a competition team for almost 3 years at a studio called Spotlight. And there was a point that I was like, okay, I have to go to school. I have to work now, and like there was it was either continue competing, as an adult or find something else. And salsa for me was something I had seen on YouTube for a long time. I watched Atacan Alemana dancing,
Nice.
the pretty famous song that everyone knows, Te Extraño, wearing the white shirts and the black pants. And I saw that I was like, I want to do that. It's not salsa, but I was like, I love that. And then I started looking into what, other videos, and I started seeing salseros, and I bumped into a video from Salsa Lovers when JC was dancing with Denise.
Mira eso.
And they were, yeah, they were doing a routine, and I was like, wow, I need to be there. I need to do that. How do I get there? So I called up Salsa Lovers. How do I join your team? I went, I tried out, I did it for a little bit, and then I kind of fell off the wagon because I had some personal things going on. And it wasn't after like 2 3 years that I went back. And after I went back, I mean, life changed completely for me because I've met so many different people, so many beautiful souls. I've had so many great opportunities to dance for great artists, to travel the world. And something that I never thought. It was just I want to dance, and that's it, with no agenda at the end. And yeah, I've fallen in love with salsa. I've fallen in love with how it's made me feel. I've fallen in love with the process because how I started versus where I'm at and where I'm going to go, right? Because there's still more, much more growth to go. It's it's out of this world. So that passion that I have for dancing, and in specific, it's salsa, right? Salsa is what brought me to the show and brought me to meet you and be part of the community. Um, I want to share that passion with other people, specifically for women, because oh my God, it's as you get older, as life changes, as you become a mother, like your mindset changes on. And I think it's important to grasp and to hold on to things that make you feel good about yourself, that make you feel alive, that give you light, that give you life. And that's what salsa is for me. That's why I'm breathe salsa all day long. And so yeah, um, that's where I'm at.
That's amazing.
Salsa is life for me right now.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I couldn't agree more. I think that's why, you know, we originally get bit by the bug, and then we get so passionate about that feeling, this healthy feeling, which is really, I think, an important aspect, because there's other things that get you these feelings too that are not necessarily as good for you.
Right.
So you know, we can dive deep into this journey, if you would, and it's only going to bring more awareness to ourselves, which of course we'll be transitioning into that, especially, you know, with everything that's happening nowadays, a lot of the confusion. You know, you ladies need to be hyper aware, hyper alert, while at the same time being vulnerable and sensitive. It's a complicated time. So thank you for continuing to be that light. Same way Jeanette killed it in her episode as well. For those of you that haven't seen it, go ahead and go back. I think it's episode 110. Um, just amazing, beautiful, powerful women, in the powerful in the woman sense, not powerful in the man sense. And there's a difference, and we spoke about that in her episode as well, which is absolutely wonderful. So thank you for that. Doing a little recap. So you were in Peru. You came when you were 6. You were already training. Did you come directly to Miami?
I did. I've been in Miami all my life.
Okay.
I'm a
Okay.
Miami girl.
Nice. Okay. So, and that's when you were 5, 6 years old. So we're talking about what, 98, around there, when
Yeah.
you, 98,
Yeah.
99. Okay. So you get over here, you go straight into the dance. You go straight into the dance studio, you start training.
Not till I was a little bit older, because in that moment we were still getting settled. So I didn't start training till I was in middle school.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, but that's huge, that early start is a really a big deal.
Yeah.
So okay, so then you find salsa online. You find salsa online, and you make the call to salsa lovers after, first of all, so Atacan Alemana are your first inspirations.
Yeah.
We interviewed them. Believe it's episode 62, Resilience. Guys, go ahead and look that up. An amazing interview. Wonderful people, beautiful people. And so I get it. That's awesome. So then it got a little closer to home when you were inspired by JC and Denise. Their JC's social dancing for me really does it. There's, again, I think we were talking about on the pre-show a little bit earlier. There's those that are dancing for others, and there's those that are dancing for themselves.
Yeah.
And for me, you could tell that JC's dancing for himself, which is awesome. And then because he's doing it for himself, I feel like it actually gives more to everyone else, which is beautiful, very organic and authentic. Okay, so all right, so then at that point you make your call, you hop on their team. Is that right?
I I did. I hopped onto the student team,
Okay,
but it was led by Adrian. Adrian Ruiz
okay,
is the one that was leading that. It
for
wasn't
sure.
me
How
or
long ago was
JC.
that?
Oh my God. I started with him basically, so I would say 7 years ago.
Okay, nice.
Seven and a half, yeah, around there.
Okay, okay, all right. And how was that? Were you like just totally awesome right for the get? Were you Did you struggle? Like, tell us a little bit about that.
No, I mean, I think because I was trained already in dance, I was able to pick it up.
Okay.
But looking back at those videos, I mean, I did not know what the hell. I didn't even understand what 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 meant. Like
Right.
dancing casino rueda was, what is happening? I'm just moving my body. I'm so lost. But um, no, it was a process. I busted my ass. I would literally wake up, listen to salsa, train till 2 in the morning. It was a lot. It was a whole process to get to this point. But he when I first started dancing, I think as instructors or as coaches, you see certain people and then you're like, you have it. Like you see the potential. You see the that you just have to bring it out. They just need training. They just need guidance. They just need to be mentored, right? And I think that that's what he saw in me, and so he was like on it, on it, on it, on it. And I would say that he's the one that created Johanna, because he's the one that taught me how to move the hips and how to do everything pretty much. It's taken some time for me to adjust my style
Right.
to it, right? But he showed me the ropes. He showed me the way on how to dance. So
Nice. I didn't know
yeah,
that.
that
That's
that
awesome.
experience.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, all right. So then from there, you're on the student team. You said some personal things happened. You came back after how long?
Um, a couple months, I would say. After a couple months, I came back.
Okay.
Um, and then that's when we started doing different teams. We started doing creation dance team. We did
I remember that.
I danced with, we did like a salsa lovers pro team too, which I mean I when you're passionate about something and you have no fears, like not that you don't have fears, but you just, I feel like you go head in. You
Right.
don't think about anything. It's just okay, cool. Let's just see what happens. And I look back at it and I'm like, oh my god, that was horrible. But I'm glad that I pushed myself to do something I was uncomfortable doing, because it led me here. But
Could
yeah,
you
I've
say that?
done
Could you
a
say
bunch.
that? Could you say that one more time for all of our listeners? That golden nugget
Oh
right
my,
there. Say that for me one more time. ¿Te
oh my
acuerdas?
god, what did I? No.
I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad. Something about you got yourself in an uncomfortable place. You're glad that you did.
Okay. Yes, I'm glad that I got into an uncomfortable place, because it's led me to the dancer I am today. I think for a long time we're comfortable in the comfort zone,
Right.
and we don't know how to break free from it. And I was uncomfortable for a very long time, but it just made me so happy that I was okay with the discomfort. And also having someone behind you saying like, come on, you got this, practice, let's rehearse. Like that was also really good motivation for me. And it taught me discipline. It's taught me a lot, actually, the training, how often we train and all of that. But yeah, I've done a few teams with salsa already, and I am diving into creating my own girls team once again, very very soon.
Nice. That's what's up.
Yeah.
I have a request, really quick. Side note: is it possible that you could put your hat backwards for those of you that are listening on the audio right now?
Backwards.
Just so because there's
Oh no.
the shadows covering your face, and it's literally like a
Oh,
black over the top of you.
really?
Yeah. Just
Okay.
for those of you that are listening to the audio on our video, we're outside. She's got her light
I
on
can't.
top. That
Let me
works.
fix his hair. Let me fix his hair. This is fine.
Perfecto. There you go.
Now it's really bright.
Nah, you're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. Perfecto. Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, so then from there, you said you've been on a few. So when you left Salsa Lovers, then you went to where? Because I remember when you were doing Baila Miami with us for a little bit, you created, was it yours that you created Elite Dance
Yes.
Company?
Well, I did create a lead dance company. That was, it's been 2 years already. It's been 2 years that
A little
I
more than that.
created
That
a
was
lead.
pre. Was that not pre-COVID, or was that after?
No. That was after COVID. What
Okay,
happened is after Salsa Lovers, I took some time off again, and I was dancing for Salsa Va. I was part of Salsa
that's right.
Va, uh, and we were full force. I had created a girls team, Joe Rose Ladies. We were doing full blown classes, and then COVID hit, and everything just shut down. So COVID hit, life happened, a lot of realization, a lot of thinking, a lot of processing where I want to go, where I stand. Um, and that led me to say, okay, I want to do a dance company. I that was a whole experience for me because I think I was so excited and so passionate and so eager to do my own thing that I didn't really sit down to think about the all the little things that you actually need to do in order to run a business, right? Like it's not just going to teach salsa class. It's not that. You have to market, you have to promote, you have to have a good space, you have to put the schedules up, you have to contact people, you have to teach the classes, you have to do payroll. Like there's so much that comes with it, right? And I was like, oh, I got it. But what happened is that I was working a job at that time. I was working a part-time job, which ended up becoming a full-time job at the same time I got the studio. So I was trying to balance both of
Wow.
these things at the same time. I would work like a mad woman because I got a promotion during the day and all the way to night, and then figure out how to go to the studio and then teach and do everything else. And it just, at a point, it became like a second job. Like I lost the joy it brought me because I was just like, what am I doing? Where am I going? Um, and so I did that for over a year. Elite Miami was going on for over a year, and then I got pregnant last year, and I had to take a step back and really do some serious a serious analysis of where I was going with the studio and if it was worth keeping it open. And in that moment, it wasn't for me, because I was like, okay, I have to prioritize, bringing a baby into the world and what that's going to be like. So I put that on hold. And it's not so recently that I started teaching and dancing again, because when I was pregnant, I just kind of was like not feeling it, not having it. I was
Oh, of course, I can
uninspired,
imagine.
unmotivated. Um, but yeah, it's Elite Miami is where I ended up last year, and now I'm just kind of bouncing from studio to studio, and I'm doing workshops here and there, and just working on different things to provide for my ladies. And I'm mostly focused on my privates right now, which is for everyone has different reasons why they take privates, whether it's for styling, whether it's the sauce, whether it's to learn the basics or to be more confident. But I'm really focused on that at the moment.
Right. No, beautiful. And that's amazing. And that makes perfect sense. I mean, I think what a lot of people, younger people, because we have a lot of energy and we want to conquer the world, and we can. But there's a lesson that I learned about bandwidth. Basically, the idea that although we can do something, we only have so many hours in the day. We only have so much energy. So let's say, for example, if running the dance studio, is going to take up 50%, right? Oh, I could do it because I have 100% worth of energy, right? But going in the gym takes 15%.
Yeah.
It's just getting to bed on time takes 5%. Eating healthy takes 5%. Doing well at your job takes 15 to 20%. Well, then now all of a sudden we're increasing more than 100%. And of course, for a temporary time, you could do that. But if we want to be able to not stop our feet, if we want to be able to keep the timing of the song, for the sake of the metaphor, we got to be able to sustain whatever movements we got going on the top. if the second that the foundation collapses or the second that we get off timing with the music, then literally the entire thing collapses. So we always try and be mindful, and especially we teach our students to be really mindful of, what movements are we doing? Are we doing too much? Less is more. How well can you do your crossbody? How well can you do your basic? Because that could be just as fun if you're allowing it to be. Obviously there's full-time mothers, and that's a beautiful thing. I think that's the most rewarding thing for I don't know. I'm a man speaking. I don't know, but to be dedicated to that 100% of the time. You could do other things. There's definitely those that have jobs and are a mother at the same time, or same thing with a father. You can be a father and have a job at the same time. Yeah, but there's only so much bandwidth that we can basically with sustain at the end of the day. So completely understandable. Absolutely. And we got to be mindful of what we choose. And if we're able to continue running with it, because as we know, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, it might seem like a long time, but in the grand scheme of things, how long does something really take for it to actually kick off? Right. And that's sometimes I think in this microwave era, some people forget about, naturally, naturally. And so absolutely. So thank you for sharing that. I totally agree. And I think that's a perfect segue to, our topic of the interview, which, for those of you that don't know, all of our interviewees select a topic that they're specifically passionate about. And Johanna selected, confidently her. Basically, when you're in your dance, actually, I'm not even going to say it. You go ahead and take that. And essentially, when you're talking about, we even spoke a little bit about it in the pre-show, goals, identity, challenges that women face in general, and how all that ties into dance. Let's talk about that. What's I guess the main message, if you would, and obviously I'll shoot you some questions along the way.
Well, for me, confidently her, right? When we talked on the phone that day, uh, my mind went to how we want to learn how to dance, and in this case would be salsa, right? That's what we're talking about, salsa. Um, and we go and we learn the moves and we learn how to do the timing and how to listen to keep the tempo and all of these things. And we don't realize how our mind is a big factor in the dancing part, right? It's not just about how you move your body. It's about what you're thinking about. It's how you see yourself. It's how you feel about yourself, and the blocks that bring that up. And so for me, being confident is not going to be a 1 day thing. It's not going to be a one session thing where you just come and take a class and you learn the basic and it's like, oh, I'm a freaking salsa dancer. Like, no, it's not that. It's what you do day in and day out that ultimately will bring that confidence in you. So it's who you talk to, how you talk to people, what you read, how you spend your time, your downtime, what your habits are. All of these things really make a huge difference in how, at the end of the day, you see yourself. Because everyone has their own perspective on who you are and what your life looks like, right? But at the end of the day, you know what you do, and you're the one that has to look at you at the end of the night and say, oh, I did this or I didn't do this. I didn't keep the promises I said I was going to myself. And when you don't do that, I think that takes away from your confidence. So confidently her for me is the things that you do day in and day out in order for you to get to the point of feeling good, incorporating salsa into that.
Nice. Okay, so the promises, I think that's a big deal. I kind of look at them as almost contracts with yourself, right? Like, okay, so if I want to dance salsa, well, then I'm going to have to commit my Tuesdays and Thursdays here until, period. Until.
Mm.
And that promise with
Right.
yourself is, I think, the first step towards, like you're mentioning, confidence. Because then how can you be confident if you don't even, how is someone going to believe in you if you don't even believe in yourself? And I think that's a huge deal. And when that was explained to me, I was like, that makes all the sense in the world, because we're gonna walk around with this like low self-esteem, if we would, without necessarily knowing why, when in the back, or I guess our subconscious is constantly being let down. We don't even believe ourselves when we say, oh, I'm gonna do this or I'm gonna do that. So how does that tie in? Or actually, how's this? When you watch somebody social dance, do you feel that how they dance represents who they are as a person? Are you able to see who they are, their personality, through how they dance?
Yes, but sometimes it could be misleading because I've met people that shine on the floor, and then when you talk to them, they're actually very shy. Um, but for the most part, their body language and how they carry themselves when they approach the dance floor and they're dancing, ultimately I would say that you are able to see how they feel about themselves, like, or how they feel about what they're doing in that moment.
Right.
Because, and that's something I always tell my girls, it's your body posture, right? Like how you're sitting, like, am I comfortable, am I nervous, am I hunchback, like, am I present, am I on, like, is my chin up, am I looking at you, am I engaging in you, am I connecting with you, like all of these things. I think that we don't talk enough about them, and it's such a big part of dancing. Like, it's huge. It's if And the question, yes, I do see that when I've watched people social dance, you're able to see um, how those people are, how they feel when they're dancing, just based on the body language that they give off when they're dancing.
We actually have a question from Chris, which I think is great. You know, commenting, why do you think that is, that someone could be confident on the dance floor but shy off of the dance floor? Why do you think that is?
Why? Well, I think that it's, let's take me for example, right? Because I feel like on the dance floor I feel freaking great. I'm on. I feel like I'm floating. There's nobody else. It's just me and my partner. I'm enjoying the music. I'm doing the basic step, even if it's just a basic step. I'm dancing. I'm smiling. I think I've gotten better, but for me, expressing myself through movement is a lot easier than for me to maybe sit down and give a whole lecture in front of people, um, or
Anything else, right?
anything else. Yes,
Right.
or anything else. And I think it's just easier for some people to just express themselves and connect to the music in that moment, and be free, let their souls, let their mind run wild. And then when that song ends, they come back to their comfort zone. They come back to the safe place of like, well, this is who I am. I'm quiet. I'm shy, or
Right.
I'm not gonna approach you.
Right.
So I think that's what happens.
Chris, I think that's a great question, brother. Thanks for participating, man. I agree 100% with Johanna, that there's actually some that are more that you can be really skilled specifically in one thing, so much so that you have yourself convinced that you're not as good doing other things. Which not, and again, everything is in the mind, right? It's more like your confidence level going in. I've seen a lot of people that are really bad at stuff, but they walk in that room and they do their thing and they walk out of that room, and for the exception of maybe 5% that actually know what's going on, everyone else is like, in whatever the case is, right? But I think that's so important for self esteem and the whole deal. It's more so just understanding to have a kind of a grace for yourself. That things always go wrong, even for the pros. And it's more just
Yeah.
their level of confidence, right, Johanna? That like because they've practiced so much, because they're so comfortable, they don't make a big deal out of the little
Hmm.
things because the little things always happen. Now, a little
Yeah.
trick for me, what I like to do is I like to care. I mean, for those of you that have listened to this podcast, I constantly bring the parallels together of social dance and life in general. Um, to bring the lessons that you learn in connection with the music, with your partner, and with yourself, bring it everywhere, and essentially trying to just kind of keep that relationship, that one-to-one relationship. I'm gonna practice not my salsa dancing, but I'm gonna practice my confidence while salsa dancing, using my salsa dancing as a medium to practice my posture, to practice my confidence, to practice having fun. Some people forget how to have fun after a while. Responsibility drowns us sometimes. But yeah, I think I cut you off. You were going to say something.
No, no,
Oh,
no.
okay.
Sorry,
Um,
my phone's about to. I need to charge it, so I'm gonna get a charger really quick.
okay, yeah, no, for sure. Sounds good. So yeah, Chris. So thank you for that, and definitely want to be able to kind of carry all of that through the promises, like you said, continuing with that, and just going back to habits, um, kind of having practice, um, following yourself, integrity. I like the word integrity for this. Just
Thank
basically
you.
listening to yourself, fulfilling your own promises to then be able to reflect that on the dance floor, and amongst other things too. Whether it's in your cooking, whether it's in your walking, whether it's in your dressing. Um, and women certainly have a lot more ways to express themselves than men. So, where else do you feel that kind of carries over, Joanna?
The confidence
Yeah, I mean, I guess
in
technically
it.
everywhere, right?
Yeah, literally everywhere. Work, in your relationship, with how you talk, with everything, everything. It's how you want to apply it too. It's your perspective, right? So
How do you think that
yeah,
is either more or less challenging specifically for women?
that it's more challenging for women. You said.
How do you feel, if it is it more or less challenging you feel for women specifically, uh, nowadays, situation based, to kind of fulfill those promises with yourself, um, in general, with whatever.
Well, the older I get and the more conversations I have with women, uh, I do see that it's challenging because we don't prioritize ourselves. We prioritize the kids, the husband, the
Wow.
boyfriend,
Wow.
the every cleaning the house and cooking, and so when we're talking about how much time, how much energy you have, 100% energy, right? You put yourself last, right? Saying, okay, I'll do it at the end of the night. I'll do it after, and you're depleted. You're depleted. You have already catered to everyone's needs, and you have been a great freaking mom. You've been a great freaking wife. You've been great at that. But then you start losing yourself because those 10 minutes that you needed to meditate or to breathe or to dance or stretch or whatever, you're not you haven't given yourself that time because you're thinking about everyone else. And I see that it's challenging for women nowadays because we just want to give, and then 10 years down the line, it's like I've lost myself. And that's a conversation I just recently had with one of my privates. It's like she loves to dance, she loves to express herself, but you know, she's had a hard life. So she lost herself, and it's like I she's trying to reignite that light, that fire in her, and it's through salsa dancing. You know, it's like she loves it so much, but she's tired. You let yourself go. You think that, oh, why am I gonna put some makeup on? Why am I gonna get dressed up? Why am I gonna go for a walk? Why am I gonna eat better? Like you start putting all of these obstacles in front of you because it's obviously easier to just give into that than say, okay, I'm gonna make a change. I'm gonna make a commitment to myself. I'm gonna say I'm gonna work out or do whatever to make myself feel better, and you don't. So I think that at least Hispanic women, I can say that we're raised with seeing our mothers and seeing just women in the Latin community being that, being freaking a warrior, being the giver and forgetting about themselves completely. Now, I think like the new generation, you know, we're talking more about mental health and how important it is and how it impacts you in your day-to-day life. Like if you don't pour into you, how can you pour into everybody else?
Right.
How can you be happy if you are not giving into you? Um, so I think we were raised to have this expectation of what a woman is and what women are supposed to do on a day-to-day basis, that we often find ourselves putting ourselves last, and then that's how we end up just being unhappy, being depressed, being like, oh, I don't know what happened. And it's
Forgetting
like,
the
well,
forgetting the human part, the self love, I, I mean, I'm gonna be super honest too. Like, it's not until recently that I'm actually prioritizing my own meals, like, and
wow,
that's real, and that's real. Just because there's so much other things that I need to be doing. Whether it's for other people, whether it's for the business, whether it's for clients, whether it's for whatever. Um, but I obviously I've it's it makes perfect sense that on a full stomach I'm able to service others better. With on 8 hours of sleep, I'm able to do a
yeah,
better job. Okay, yeah, you can say that I've lost an hour or two in my work, but I'm gaining 3 or 4 hours worth of effectiveness.
yeah,
And essentially that translates back directly to the social dancing, because when we're able to walk onto the dance floor, and of course this I think we're talking about women in this episode, but this definitely applies to men too. It's when I'm able to go out there and able to, with a clear mind, a clear soul, if you would, with full of light, well rested, and I'm connecting with a friend to amazing music, I'm able to just shine that much brighter. And obviously that's contagious, right? That your partner does the same thing, the people that are watching the same thing, and it's all a ripple effect. Just coming from this, starting from this place of confidence, which we've spoken about, starts with your contracts with yourself, right? You're following through with what you said that you were going to do. Looks like Jeanette is on, and she says, Johanna, you continue to inspire me. Even with a baby, you continue to inspire and share your love for dance, something I look forward to.
thank you. I appreciate that. I listen. Jeanette is the queen of bachata. I say that to everybody. The TikToks that you do, the videos that you post. So that means a lot. Thank you.
For sure.
Andres, I wanted
Who?
to
Who?
make a point.
Who? Who?
Andres,
No. Mm-mm. Try again.
what?
Ponme el acento, por favor. Don't kill me like that.
Andres,
Thank you. Dios
Andres.
mío. Ay, Dios. La peruana me está diciendo Andrés.
Oh, that's hilarious. I'm sorry, I forgot. I
You're
gotta
good.
add
You're
the
good.
Cuban
You're good.
accent.
You're good. You're good. I'm just
um,
busting you. You're good.
what you were just talking about, right? I believe that nowadays we we're impatient. We want everything so quick. We want to learn this. Forget about the basics. Let's just go and let me just do all the advanced steps and like let me just go show out. Let
I
me
want to
just
go on point. I want to be in
and
point shoes in the first year. Yeah.
4 inch heels, 4 inch heels,
Yeah.
dancing salsa. And listen, I feel like I can talk about these things because I've been there. And the only way that you learn is from experience. And sometimes people can tell you and you'll do it, but we're human beings. We're stubborn. You have to learn the hard way. Um, and I really believe that we want results instantly. We want results from day to night, and it's everything's a process. Dancing salsa, a relationship, a business, creating a business, building your everything is, you have to be patient. It's, you won't see the results in the moment, but in the long run, at the end of the day, it's all gonna come together. And um, I think that we have everything so quick nowadays, everything through social media. We don't even go shopping anymore. Just wait 2 days for my package. What kind of crap is that? Why would I do that? We want everything so quick, and so we apply that to everything else. So I think learning how to be patient in the process and with ourselves is something that we do have to talk about, because we have unrealistic expectations of life. And it's like, no, no, let's take it back. Let's analyze this. How are we going to do this the proper way and make sure that we are dancing salsa? Like, I can teach you the basics, but you have to continue practicing those basics in order for you to enhance your dancing level, and in order for you to be able to do the more advanced stuff, right? And
Yeah.
I am working on patience myself,
No,
right?
and,
Like
and
I
we all
think,
we all are. We all want things right now, but that's because, especially our generation, that's what we've been taught. That's what we've been growing up with. Like, I mean, I
yeah,
shoot. I mean, I grew up with the internet. Like, I mean, it was the, but at the end of the day, like, I could type in some stuff, I can punch in some letters on this machine, and the information would show up. Like, that's like radically unheard of. Obviously, 5 years older than me. So just that, those little changes, and of course everything is just exponentially
now it's,
going.
we
Yeah,
have robots. We have robots giving us a whole nutrition plan and
yeah.
other things.
It's wild. It's wild, and I think these feelings of, I think we're going to be tempted to not be confident in ourselves more and more as the things that actually matter, the things that actually take time, um,
Yeah.
continue to take time, and that's always going to be the case, or at least anything that's truly meaningful, because time is our most precious asset. It's the only thing that you can't replace. So obviously, anything that takes time is going to have the most value by default. Um, so I think that what you were mentioning before about how you feel in the process, I think needs to be the focus. I felt good taking one step forward today, versus comparing your results to someone who started 2 years earlier than you, 5 years earlier than you, 15 years earlier than you. Yeah, you're setting yourself up for failure if you do that. But to have the confidence that
Right.
you're moving forward, I'll never forget. There's like an old school meme, old school. There's un gordito on a track, right? And he's got like the old school sweatband and with the sweater and whatever, and he's walking the track, and it says the guy walking the race is going faster than the guy sitting on the couch. And it's like that for me is everything, because that's like the story of my life. I am one of the least talented persons you'll ever meet. And it's because of that is why I've learned to Like my secret weapon is my hard-headedness and my consistency. Like that is the only reason why, because I'm not gonna stop. Yo me muero. I would die before I let you beat me. Like that's me. That's my strategy. I'm the turtle. I am the turtle. That's me. Um, so
That's
and
admirable. A lot of people can't say that. That in order for you to be consistent, that takes a lot. It's you could be motivated a lot, right? But if you're disciplined and consistency, that's gonna take you to the possibilities are endless.
and what's so okay. So now going to this side of the coin, if you would, and understanding the impatience, because for me
Mm,
it's like I, I know I'm going to get there. And that's arguably one of the more frustrating things is I know there's no doubt because I'm not going to stop, which means I'm going to get there. But
mm,
oh my God, how much longer? I'm tired. I'm tired. And meanwhile, there's beautiful people like Jeanette, yourself. Obviously, you know you've seen Emily, Raul, the talent that's come through, Rojas, Abdel, all the amazing dancers in our Miami scene, JC, Denise, and Net. Like there's like the talent is just so mind blowing. And I'm like, yo, just por favor, just keep going. You're literally going 8 times faster than I am. Um, just don't stop. Don't stop. So that's kind of like our thing, at least at Salsa, is don't stop your feet. Don't stop your feet. Don't stop your feet. It's like just the
I
metaphor
love
of,
that.
just keep going.
Keep going.
And as long as you do that, there's what's gonna stop? Oh, and if there really is a legitimate roadblock, well, then either you're more patient, you wait until that thing clears, or it's legitimately impossible and you can't move forward, and then it's not for you, and then that's clear. You know,
But one thing that you have that it's important to talk about is that there's a goal. There's an end goal. You're
right?
working towards something. You're not just working blindly and just hoping that something sticks, right? You're
But
working
I've done
towards
that before too, and I think we all have. Like
100%.
we're going really fast in a circle. Oh my God, que horror!
100%.
Yeah, yeah, I'm with you on
You live
that.
and you learn. This is how you live and you learn from experiences.
Yes, yes.
Because what your neighbor told you is not enough. Like I gotta fail. I have to like fall flat on my face in order to understand what my neighbor was telling me.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. No, there's no, and sometimes that's mom and dad, right? Um,
Oh
or
Lord,
a best
those are the
friend, right?
hardest.
Yes, right, yeah, right. Man, mom was right again. Dad was right again. Yeah, no, it's definitely humbling. There's no doubt about it.
Yes.
Um, but going back, coming back to the subject here, essentially, I think that continuing to move forward, even in the slightest way, allows for that confidence, not just in your life, but on the dance floor. And I think that's what makes it so awesome when two people come together in their episode 115, the one right before this. So we just released Whole Alone, and basically just the idea of being fully yourself and representing
Mm,
fully yourself so that you can meet someone else who is fully themselves, finding that medium together, whether it's salsa, bachata, kizomba, tango, merengue, whatever, you name it, and you come together and you create something that you couldn't otherwise before, obviously inspired by the music. So I think that's what allows the magic to be created. Versus again, we're self-conscious, we're in our head, trying to memorize whatever that we learned in class. When you have babies that have the biggest smile on their face, they're listening to their favorite TV
yeah.
show, and they're dancing, they're dancing. What a concept! They're dancing, So I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that 100%.
And to add on to what you're saying, like something that in the beginning when you start dancing, maybe we don't see this. I know I didn't, but these amazing dancers that you see, right? That you see that they're traveling, and you see that they're killing it. They're professionals. This is all they do. You have to understand that what makes them so special is them, like how they carry themselves. They could be doing the most basic thing and enjoying the heck out of it, and how they do that makes you be like, wow, I want that. Wow, I want to learn how to do that. And they don't have to do all of these like extravagant moves no, it's the most basic stuff. And it comes down to how that dancer just simply carries themselves with that grace, with the elegance, with just the sazon. And that makes you be like, it's contagious, you know? So
I agree.
it's
That it's, but like you
it's the
said,
training.
right? Them continuing to show up, continuing to grow, which allows them, which I guess carries over into the confidence, so that when they do
Mm-hmm.
their thing, it's just another day at practice, right? I mean, I relate it to sports, and it's just, you see, um, what's this guy, Stephen Curry? I just saw this, the documentary of Stephen Curry, the one that he just shoots the threes from the Warriors. He just doesn't. But you see him in practice doing that. Like, it's not just he gets lucky at the games. No, it's just from half court. It's just like, oh my God, So then that's obviously where when the talent meets the hard work, that confidence comes out, and I think that's what kind of pushes it over the edge, if you would. Oh gosh, what was it? There's a quote that I love. It's like, half the battle is showing up. Half the battle is showing up. 40%, or the next 40% is hard work and dedication. And then the last 10% is a dogfight. And the dogfight being that extra confidence, that mindset when you're in the moment, but you're essentially, you're better than half of everybody just by showing up. The next 40% is hard work and dedication, which then from there you're in the top 10 percentile if you work hard and you study. Then from there, the last 10%, if you're going to be the greats, it's how well you do in the moment. And I think that's where that comes from, as far as for the confidence,
Right.
and how well you're able to relate it, not let the nerves, if you would, get to you. Yeah, dude, it's good stuff. And oh my God, even more so for you women, I feel you have all the reason in the world to both, I feel, to be self-conscious and at the same time to conquer the world. Like, and I can only imagine the what that feels like, that pulling,
Yeah. And something I've been learning, because what I like to focus on is basic step, always. All my girls, go home, look at yourself in the mirror, practice your basic step. And what that does is, like, it allows you to, like, first look at you, like, take the time to actually observe you, see how you look. I don't like this, I like that. Ooh, I gotta change this maybe. But also how you feel about yourself. And what I've come across, these conversations I've been having with women lately, it's just they feel uncomfortable. They feel like weird, they feel awkward, and they just don't feel good within themselves. And they could be the most beautiful women that I've come across, like beautiful girls, and it comes down to just they don't feel good. And like you said, it really does start with your mind. But I think there's a whole ice cream truck passing by.
This is perfect.
No, thank you.
This is great.
He just stopped me.
This is awesome. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take orders now. We're gonna have the ice cream man stop real quick. We're gonna take orders. We'll go ahead and have it shipped to you, Amazon Prime. Actually, same day to your house. We can't promise it won't be melted though. But no, I think what I actually, following up with what you were saying, that beautiful women are still, they have that lack of confidence, if you would. But this is where I go when I say anything new, you're gonna feel weird. Anything
Yep.
new that you do, you're gonna feel weird. And I think that kind of like just knowing that from the get go, like, okay, this is just initial static friction. I just kind of gotta grind through this really quick. But like I said, anything worth it is worth anything worth it is going to take some time. Is going to take some practice. Um, and if you're able to just grind yourself through that, then you'll be in good shape. Obviously, surrounding yourself with a good support system. You ladies are amazing at that.
Right.
Meanwhile, us guys are constantly shooting each other down.
Yeah.
But a support group that's inspiring each other and pushing themselves up. Definitely know how important that is for you ladies. Continue to do that, please, because my God, you ladies are absolutely amazing. And if when you come to that belief, there is no stopping you. There absolutely is no stopping you. The resilience is outrageous, really inspiring, truly, truly, truly. And I think that's what Jeanette just finished saying. So thank you, Jeanette, for that. So believe it or not, we've already been here an hour. like I
Wow.
said. So if we were to talk about, I guess your future plans, your future goals, you've already mentioned some stuff. But how do you feel that all of this, if you were to apply this to you for all of the things that you're going to be doing now, what extra nuggets could you give to our audience to kind of keep in mind as, I guess you could say, almost even like the next level? Okay, so that you got to go in, fulfilling your own self contracts, if you would, having integrity, so that you can become more confident to then hit the next stage. What things do you foresee maybe is going to be coming now on top of that? Because every time you level up, there's a new enemy, right? What do you foresee, if anything? I mean, maybe you say, "Hey, look, I got this. I ain't stopping my feet. Palante." What do you
Yeah.
think that is, if anything?
Um, to be honest, I like I mentioned to you earlier, I really want to bring in a program that is tackling salsa styling, salsa dancing, incorporating with mental health and wellness. Um, for women that just are looking to do something out of the norm that's not working out. I am a very big believer that mental health is crucial. We should be talking about mental health all the time, and we should be understanding and learning how how this affects us on a day-to-day basis. And for me, talking about I'm sorry if I'm like going a different path now, but
You're good.
talking about the full confidence thing, um, we have, at least for me, I've realized that I've had this expectation that when you do something right, like you're gonna get it, and we've talked that that's not true. It takes time. Like even having a conversation with you today, I had told you like I'm nervous, and like that nerve, I got the nerves, the feeling, those jitter feelings that I would if I were to go perform on a stage, and we're just having a conversation, and it's the fear of sounding stupid, it's the fear of how is that person gonna think, and did I make sense? Did I say this right? Did I say this wrong? And like all of these things come to your head,
Right.
come to your mind, and they're blocks, right? And it almost made me feel like, oh, like do I want to do this? Like, am I ready for this? Like, do I know what I'm talking about? Do it? Like, am I confident to have this conversation? And it's funny because it's like blocks that I've had to overcome throughout the whole episode. Like, okay, I'm here, and like you're fine, you got this. Like reassuring myself, like you're good. Um, and that leads me to a podcast I recently heard with John Maxwell. He
Nice.
is a public speaker, and he was talking about how he wishes people had heard his lectures when he first started. Like if you heard him talking in the beginning of his career versus now, you would be like, I could do that. And we always see the end goal. We always see, oh my God, he's done over 20,000 lectures and public speakings, and he doesn't get nervous anymore, and he's such a natural at it. And it's like, no, but you didn't see the beginning. And so I saw that, I heard that, and I was like, wow, that's so powerful, you know. And he had to overcome so many things. And for me, it could be, you know, having a conversation today in the podcast. Like when we shut off, and when I'm meditating and when I'm doing my thing, like, oh wow, you know, like I did that. You know, like that is like another chip.
Aplauso para Johanna.
Yeah, like it's another celebration because you're dancing. You don't think you're gonna talk about deeper things, right? But somehow it's led me here for whatever reason that may be, for someone to hear and be like, I connect with that. I resonate. Oh, I'm feeling that way, you know. And it's like, well, if she can do that, well, I can. I can do the same thing, right? So ultimately, what I see myself doing is inspiring women, inspiring people, whoever I come across, sharing my light, and just, you know, life is hard. Life throws a lot of shit at you. We have really good times and really good moments, and then we have really shitty moments. But at the end of the day, it's, what are you gonna do with that? Are you gonna be down in the dumps? Are you gonna let that defeat you, or are you gonna be a fucking warrior? Are you gonna be able to be like, okay, you know, my confidence was it's shit, but okay, how do I build it up? Whether it's salsa dancing, whether it's working out, whether it's learning a new skill, whatever it may be, right? Like we can apply everything that we do in a day-to-day basis with whatever it may be. So um yeah, I would say whatever you're thinking about doing, even if it sounds absurd, even if it sounds unreachable, it sounds crazy to a bunch of people, just go for it. You never know what could happen. You never know who you can connect with, who you can inspire, whose life you can change, because you just never know. But at least you won't have that that thing in the back of your head saying like, damn, I should have tried. How
Right.
would the podcast have gone if I would have done it? How, you know, maybe I have another podcast, and maybe and my thing here is, I know I'm gonna get better. Like, I love that you said that nothing's gonna stop me. Like, I love that attitude, and that's contagious. That's contagious because it's easier to be like, oh, fuck it, yeah, I'm tired, like I can't, I'm exhausted, life has beat me down and I just can't anymore, and I'm not going to pursue what makes me happy anymore. But to meet someone that's like, no, I know I've got this, it's going to take some time, I'm exhausted and I'm tired and I have all of these obstacles, but I'm going to get there. That attitude needs to be freaking spread like coronavirus, okay,
Yeah.
all around,
I agree.
everywhere.
I agree.
So
I agree. I agree. There we have the we have so many tools, especially now. Okay, that's a thing. Okay, that's the thing. It's okay. It's getting
too much,
it's getting
overwhelming.
progressively harder and progressively easier at the same time. In the sense that it's getting harder because everything is so fast, meaning that the second
Yeah,
it doesn't come fast, it's easier for us to get down on ourselves. But since
yeah,
everything is so fast, if we keep going, we're going to go farther. Or at least farther than our parents did, which is essentially that's all we really need to do is just take it one step further, you know. And if we
right.
love it so much, you know, by default, it's gonna carry over to, you know, to our kids. Like I'm gonna be dancing with my wife. I mean, I don't care if she wants to or not. I'm gonna be dancing with my, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the way that it's gonna go.
Yeah,
And essentially that idea of just being okay and with feeling good with the journey. If the journey doesn't feel good, well then pick another journey, bro. Like tomorrow the sun rises on a new day. Like start over. Like what better now than next year or 2 years from now or 3 years from now. Like no problem.
yeah.
Now with that said, one of my biggest regrets is I used to play roller hockey when I was a kid, and I wish that I did not quit. I was
Mm.
all-star goalie in West Pembroke Pines, and it was just one day that it was just like I don't feel like going to practice anymore, and it was just more of like a laziness. Like I'm cool with the games, but I don't want to go to practice. And I'm like, okay, if I don't want to go to practice, then I don't deserve to play the game. So like the mindset I think was right, but it's more like we're gonna have our moods, we're gonna have our bad days, and to just continue going that and fulfill that contract with yourself, or at least up until a certain time, to almost even ignore how you feel up until the end. Okay, now that I've gone this far, this milestone, okay, now I performed with my studio. Do I want to keep going? Because I think it's very, emotionally, it's very volatile, and that's normal. That's human. And I think even possibly more for you ladies, you have to deal with more. You got to manage that more. I think it's perhaps a little bit easier for us men. But no, I hear you. I hear you 100%. And to just say if that's really what you want to do, but then we go back to what is it that you really want to do? The questions always just get deeper, right? So thank you, Johanna. If you have nothing else to add, we'll go ahead and close it out, guys. For those of you that are watching, if you have any questions at all whatsoever, now would be the time. But thank you so much for coming on. This was definitely awesome. I knew we were going to get a lot of nuggets out of this. I appreciate your confidence in making this happen today, despite the nerves. You killed it, and I think everybody that's watching would definitely agree, and listening as well later on. The audio version is going to be aired next week, Monday. So 7 days from now, you'll be able to catch it. Obviously, you'll be able to get the YouTube immediately, but Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, etc., Stitcher, everywhere else. So feel free to enjoy that as well. How many platforms? I think we're about 4 or 5 around there, wherever podcasts are. Okay, but cool. Yeah, we're at pretty decent numbers now with regards to this specific niche. The salsa niche is very specific for a podcast in the topics of talking the way that we do. There's some other podcasts that they play music, which is cool. Like there's DJs that have their own salsa podcast, which is cool. But yeah, we're number 1 right now on FeedSpot. We're number 1 salsa podcast, which is cool, which is great. Impressive. So definitely humbling. Oh. Thank you, by the way. But it's because of awesome guests like you that are throwing amazing content, that come in and pouring their heart out. That's what making this awesome. So thank you very much. So again, guys, if there's no other questions, we're gonna go ahead and sign off. Thank you all so much, and definitely we'll go ahead and continue releasing every single week, so stay tuned for that. News.salsakingslive.com. News.salsakingslive.com is the website to go ahead and subscribe to get our text notifications for when we go live on our interview, so you can go ahead and participate. News.salsakingslive.com. Without further ado, Johanna, youthebomb.com, but you already knew that. To all of our listeners, we love you, and we will see you on the dance floor. Bye-bye.